Okay, so today I want to talk about specifically a power. And that power is teleportation, which is an incredible power, right? Like nobody ever, you know, wants to have teleportation for their power. Like if you only get one or two kind of powers in your set, no one ever picks teleportation as their power, right? But we all understand how important it would be to have a teleporter on deck. Like we've seen Nightcrawler be used situationally to get the team out of some really hot situations from time to time. We've seen like what was the one in the not the Titans, but the New Mutants version Blink also operate in that capacity. But obviously there's a lot of like limitations on what a teleporter can do, right? Like we need to understand how teleporters operate, what they're actually capable of doing, all that stuff, right? So, and it varies, So again, a useful power, and to me, like Azazel has used it the best. Like he's the most, and then Nightcrawler, right? They're pretty adept because they're bringing other stuff along with their teleporting, right? That's the main thing. It's like both Azazel and Nightcrawler are physically beasts in the first place, right? They're fast, they're agile. Nightcrawler can climb up walls and all kinds of stuff like that. So he's not just relying on just classic teleportation, which as a power, it's dope, but it's kind of basic, right? Like it gets you from point A to point B. Now I get it though. Getting from point A to point B, man, that's a big thing for mankind. Like just in general, our ability to go from over here to over there, man, that changes our world, right? And obviously this gets through everything. This is you vanish here, you appear over there, right? Like that's as simple as it gets. It's a dimensional shortcut. It is sometimes portal travel. It is the transmission of matter. However it is that we get this stuff going back to where we want it to be without having to get into traffic, right? This is how much we hate traffic. Without having to go to the airport, without having to get on the 405 freeway, right? Without having to do any of that stuff, right? We're just there, right? It's the most convenient thing ever in life. Now, again, would I take that over super strength? Probably not. Would I take that over weather control? No. I mean, it's relative. Would I take that over mind control? Probably not, right? But I want to have access to a teleporter, right? Like, if I only get, two powers, like maybe I get healing, maybe on Wolverine I get, usually you're a couple of different powers all in one. Like, Cyclops seems like he's one power, right? Shooting eye beams. And it doesn't seem like he's got anything else special about him, right? But, like, Hank, you got a lot of special, speed, agility, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, Storm, I guess you're kind of one power, but it's weather control, so that's a lot of powers unto itself. So teleportation, man, unless you've got like Azazel skills where you could teleport really fast and bam, poof, poof, and fight, okay. Otherwise, nobody wants it, but we all need it, right? You notice how the Avengers don't even address it. The Avengers, I don't think the Avengers have had one teleporter on the squad, right? Like, for some reason, now the X-Men tend to keep a teleporter around, and it's like I said, it's convenient, although they never seem to be able to just do exactly, just take us over there, right? But it's a skill. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk about teleportation unto itself, and I'm going to get to some of the mythic, right? Like the mythic ones first, right? The mythology of teleportation goes pretty far back, right? Because early mythology in the Christian Bibles, there's this, in the book of Acts, and I'm reading this here just from my notes, right? I'm not like a Bible theologian or any such thing, right? Philip baptizes an Ethiopian traveler, and immediately afterwards, the Spirit carries Philip away, okay? Now, the traveler can no longer see him. He's gone from the scenery. Philip is now gone from the scenery. And Philip subsequently finds himself in Azotus. Or how far away Azotus is, I'm not sure. Now, it doesn't say anything about him flying or traveling down any kind of road, okay? He disappears from one location and he reappears in another location, okay? Now, this sounds very eerily close to teleportation, right? You disappeared over here and you ended up over there. What else can we actually call that, right? Like you came from over here and now you're over there, right? So we would call that what it is. You know what? Let me change my title. I like what's going on with my title here? I gotta change that in YouTube. Hang on. I'm sorry. Because definitely people will be checking out the wrong thing. Where's my studio? Okay, how do I get? Okay, hang on. I just gotta change. It's gonna bother me if I don't do it because it's telling people the wrong stuff, right? I didn't change the title. Okay. What is it? No, yeah. This is what is teleportation. What is teleportation? Okay, that's a big difference, right? Like teleportation. This is a conversation about what is teleportation. All right. Did you save this or what's going on here? Okay, let's hope so. No. Maybe I can't. Ah, that sucks. Wait, okay. I guess I can't. All right, I guess because it's live, I can't do it. So I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it as it is. Oh, it's going to bother me the entire time. Right. So we got teleportation taking place in biblical times. In this account, way back in Acts 8:39 to 8:40. Like this is literally a teleportation act. In some other in Indian religious philosophy, they describe the same thing of an advanced practitioner mastering a relationship between the body and space. This goes all the way back to Yoga Sutras, way previously back. It's like some ancient times Yoga Sutras. And he says in the Sutra 3.4, I believe it is, right? 3.4, it renders the achievement as the ability to travel through space. So we kind of got to be, careful with some of the interpretations, but it never says anything about traveling or a ship or anything like that. It's typically interpreted as like weightlessness, unimpeded movement, something resembling teleportation. So this is going way back into like Indian and Hindu mythology. Like we were already trying to get up on teleportations. Like we care about teleporting, right? Let me go back. I wasn't ready for that to change yet. Okay. So these are the various formats that we see teleportation. Then when you talk about Su Wong, right, who is the Monkey King, right? He also does it, I think it's through like super fast movement because he's noted for that kind of movement. But in some instances, he's said to be in this spot, over in this spot. That was kind of his ability, that he moves so fast. Same thing with Hermes. Hermes from Greek mythology had what was called divine mobility, right? He moves between Olympus and the mortal world and the underworld. He crosses boundaries that ordinary beings like nobody else could cross, right? He's using, like I said here, you can look behind me. This is like portal travel or dimensional shortcut. This is what Hermes is doing. He travels. He's got to wing sandals for speed and all that, but that doesn't account for why he has supernatural movement. He's able to transmit between dimensional shortcuts, between like portal travel. So we're seeing this all in old mythologies anyway, right? The Bifrost, like the Bifrost is like a teleportation. That's what the Bifrost is. You get on the Bifrost, right? And you can connect with any of the 9 worlds. Like you walk through it, and wherever you get off at, you're in whatever of the 9. What floor you got, right? Get on the Bifrost and push what floor you got. It is a dimensional shortcut, right? This is a portal for travel. That's what it is. So they always been talking about stuff like this. And even when you get an alien abduction, you start to see it, right? You start to see like ideas of like people being transported away. Okay? We attribute it to science fiction. But it's a long-standing idea that we've been embracing about how to get from over here to over here without having to get on the 405, right? Without having to book a flight to get someplace long distance. It's the biggest dream that we have, right? Teleportation. And here's the thing. So I started thinking, like, when is the first time we started really telling stories about teleportation? So I started thinking about it, and I'm like, man, like, definitely Star Trek was the first thing that popped in my head, right? And we're going to talk about Star Trek, right? But I was wrong, man. I was wrong. So I did a little going back and looking at stories that talk about teleportation. And we got to go all the way back to 1877, right? This culture, 1877. This is the earliest known scientific teleportation story. Is credited to Edward Page Mitchell's short story, The Man Without a Body. A scientist invents a machine that breaks matter down into atoms. This dude is way ahead of his time, right? This dude is way out there, right? He transmits those atoms electronically and reconstructs the subject at a receiving station. Does that sound familiar? We never heard of this one before, right? In the flood. This wouldn't be repeated like 70, 100 years later, right? Like, this is the same story. He successfully transmits a cat, and then he attempts to transmit himself, but the machinery loses power after transmitting only his head. So yeah, you know, this is obviously like similar to both The Fly. Like, you could get how The Fly started thinking about this. I don't know what this guy was smoking on back in 1877, but this is the first guy to talk about teleportation right there. 1877. You can reference it, right? Like, sharing knowledge is the sincerest form of flattery, right? Like, I love you guys, right? The Man Without a Body. This is the first, like, for Western culture, I think this is the first account. It would not be the last. This would not be the last, okay? Because we get to 1897, the movie called, or story, To Venus in 5 Seconds. This is Fred P. James' novel, To Venus in 5 Seconds, which features the machine that transports people between Earth and Venus. Like, he wanted to get there, bam, just like that, right? This is like the Southwest Airlines of space. And this expands teleportation from like a laboratory experiment into long distance transportation. People can now find a structure on a planet and emerge into another planet, right? The novel was published in 1897, back when people used to still read books that were made out of wood, okay? A barbaric time, a barbaric age, okay? But it gets more so. 1950, Dan Dare. This is a British comic book, right? Introduced a device called a telesender during the Voyage to Venus storyline. So this is essentially a comic book version of a transmitter. This is an OG transmitter. It even produced occasional errors where you would end up in like messed up positions. Like, so it was a whole thing. And it became a serial recurring theme, not merely a one-time experiment. It became a reoccurring theme in 1950, right? So again, what were these guys smoking on then? Okay, 1956. Oh man, sorry guys, makes my ear itch. 1956, My Stars, My Destination, right? This is Alfred Bester's novel, The Stars, My Destination, obviously, introduced one of the first major fictional worlds built around personal teleportations. Humans learn to jaunty, which is teleport themselves through focused thought. This is the first one where we're doing it with their own brain power, okay? Most people have a limited range and they have to know where they're going, but it explores the ideas of how teleportation would transform transportation of goods or people, housing, prisons, security, all these things, warfare, all these things would be changed by our ability to do that. Class relations. And this is important because it's no longer done through a machine. These are humans who are manifesting. So this is the first time we're seeing a story where we weren't getting into a machine, right? Which is dangerous, man. Stop making machines. I like this route better, okay? Now we start getting to some more familiar territory, right? Like 1957, we get The Fly, right? And The Fly was not a movie, it didn't let us know that it was a movie about a guy getting merged in with a fly, but it damn sure was, right? So 1957, you get The Fly. It comes out initially as a short story, and then the film comes out in 1958. This is the Vincent Price. This is the David Hedison version. Like, if you call yourself into sci-fi, you gotta watch the OG Fly. Like, expecting anybody to go read anything. Like, I get that. Nobody trying to read anything anymore. But you gotta watch the 1958 version of The Fly. Like, it's crazy because this is the first like cinematic representation of like pods, like teleportation pods, right? So in 1957, people were like, holy willikers, what is that? Right? In the film, it had to be shocking to them. And I don't know if they were saying willikers or what they were saying. But it doesn't matter because they were shocked by this. This is the first time we see it on the screen. And it would be oddly much like what we would see in Star Trek just 8 years later. Like, it's 8 years before we see teleportation devices. And I know they saw this, man. I know you guys saw this, or you at least were influenced by the landscape, right? The teleportation landscape, right? So that's 1958. Okay, 1963, you get the Vanisher, right? So this is before Nightcrawler, this is before Azazel, Blink, any of that. Marvel had a character called Vanisher in X-Men #2, right? It's an early on character. And Marvel, man, I'm telling you, Marvel loves teleportation, man. Like, Marvel has, I think more teleporting characters than damn near anybody else, right? That's Marvel's gift to the world, is teleportation. And damn it, they're gonna stick to it, right? So you got Vanisher comes out in 1940. Vanisher comes out in 1963. This is another Stan Lee joint. He's a mutant whose primary power was direct personal teleportation, which he used to commit crimes, evade evade capture, penetrate secure locations, and frustrate the original X-Men, right? So he was real crafty ass dude. And he makes an important special piece. He's the first teleporter, prior to Nightcrawler. So this will be 10 more years before we get Nightcrawler, 1963. So it's a while before, because Nightcrawler is like 1975. Why are you doing this? Stop it. It's like 1975 before Nightcrawler comes out, right? Now, in 1965, you get one of the weirdest teleporting characters of all time, which is Lockjaw, right? Let me see if I can find a picture of Lockjaw, because this is a weird character. Let me see. I always like this character. I do not understand why. I should have done that. Lockjaw is like, he's one of the Eternals. I don't know if he's one of the Eternals. I don't know why he's a dog. I don't know if he's really a pet or if he's as smart as all of them, but whatever. He's with the Eternals. He seems like, or is it the Eternals? Yeah, I think it's the Eternals. He's with the Eternals. He seems like he's kind of the dog or the pet down there. I don't know whether that's 100% true. I don't know if it really matters as much for this conversation, whether he really is or not, but he seems to be the pet down there for the Eternals and Marvels. And I know he serves like Black Bolt the King in some capacity, but it seems like everybody serves Black Bolt, like in whatever capacity, right? So I don't know if that necessarily means anything, right, per se, but this is a character that's been around for a while, and it's like a teleporting dog, right? He's like, or an eternal guy, whatever he is, right? But this dude, he teleports, right? He slobbers on stuff, and he's giant size. So this is one of the first. This is one of the earliest teleporters that I ever saw, in my history. It was like, this is a pretty cool character. This is a character I like. Again, this character comes out Marvel Comics. We're like, this is like 1965. So this is old character, and this character's still around. They're still using this character. They haven't killed this character off again. You're one of the Eternals. And this is like 9 months before Star Trek comes out, because Star Trek is going to hit the block in 1966, right? Let me see if I can find an image here. So Star Trek would come out. Hey, I said 1966, bro. Oh. Let me grab this image here. I should have got this, but whatever. You guys have anything else to do. All right, let me grab this image right here. So Star Trek, they were the OGs as far as bringing teleporting to You know, this is an important thing. I'm glad I got this image because this is an important feature, and this is how sci-fi guys be handling stuff. Okay, so let's get right into why they had a portal. Like they're known for their shit, right? They're known for this, right? You got to beam down, right? This is so 1966, right? You got to beam down to get to the planet, and this is important, right? Because we see this later be addressed, like. You notice that in Star Wars, ships can land on the surface, right? Like Star Trek, they built this ship so massive, and they don't really use shuttle ships, right? Which would be a whole lot safer because all you're using these teleporting devices for is to get people to the planet and back up. Like that's not worth the risk, man. That actually don't even make no sense. Like I said with Star Wars. They either you like I get it, if you got the big cruisers, like there's only a few, you know, who's really got big cruisers. But if you got the Millennium Falcon, and like that's the thing, most of their ships are more like kind of personal ships. If you got the Millennium Falcon, you got to be able to land that, you know, land on the ground. Like, and that's the thing, that's key component for a lot of ships. If you guys are fans of man, Serenity, right? Like if you guys are fans of Serenity, that type of ship that Mal has specifically is noted for its ability to land on the surface of the planet and rise up. That's something that's special about that Serenity class ship. That's also something that is special about what's my man's ship? Star-Lord. Star-Lord ship, I think he calls it the Milano. That's something that's also like a key thing. So long story short, like Star Trek took on that role that like instead of even like transport ships or like a personal pod ship would be better than like transport. I don't know why they came up with beaming people down. I'm not gonna lie, like I mean it's such an integral part of what they are now. But when I go back and look at it, I'm like, why are we like that? Just seemed like a mad risk to be taking for zero reason, right? Like why wouldn't your first thing be like a pod? You just jump in the pod. You shoot down there and you're good, right? Like, I get it, you know, ship to ship, but like breaking humans down to that level and then putting them back together, I don't want to go through that, man. I can't believe that's even me anymore. Like, I would immediately question whether it's me. And I would say that, even if it's me, I'll be like, yeah, I don't know who that is over there, okay? So, because why would I be saying it? Because I'm already over here, okay? So, that's an interesting part. Like, that was a technological thing. That was a decision that they made early on. You have to want to have teleportation on your ship for it to be a part of it. You have to want to say, beam me up, Scotty, or beam me down, Scotty. Otherwise, you just have a transport ship. You just get into the transport ship like every damn body else and fly down to the planet. Like, I get it. We're not expecting you to land the Enterprise, you know, on the surface of a planet or anything like that. But yeah, we would expect you overall to, you know, be able to land on a planet. You don't need like breaking people down like that repeatedly. Like, come on, man. I don't know if Starfleet ever did any research. I'm sure they never got sued in the Star Trek storyline, but that just seems mad sketchy, man. Nobody else does that. You notice nobody else breaks you down like that just repeatedly and makes it seem like that's normal because we know that it's not. Okay, I don't know how long think you guys have had these damn teleporters, but yeah, it's not normal, and we shouldn't be relying on these teleporters. But this was the first vision. Like, so after all that. And this is kind of getting on the track, man. Like, everybody who's teleported some stuff like this, man, it goes bad, man, because you can get too many contaminations in there, right? So we know this already. But Star Trek, so this is like I said, this is 1966. And by 1966, we're heavily into, like, this is how we're teleporting stuff. And they're still doing it right now, even though it doesn't make us, you no longer need to teleport, right? So that's kind of what it is. So they kind of introduced it. And like I said, it's been a sticky point the entire time, right? Like it's a sticky point the entire time. I personally am like, yeah, I ain't getting in that, man. Like I'm not. Come on, we're Starfleet. I know you got a transport pod. You just fly me down to the planet, man. What the hell is this? I'm not getting in that, Captain. I don't care. It's against my religious beliefs. I'm Romulan and we don't believe in that. I'm whatever doesn't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So from that's like our main, but once we got that taste, man, and you just, you know, you beam it down to the planet, so like, you know, whatever. So anyway, this was a technology they felt like they had to have, which was beaming people down to the planet. Even though it's a It's a risky opposition. It's a risky proposition every single time you being down to the planet. Power Rangers does it. Power Rangers has teleportation? Wow, man. Now, I didn't know this. Okay, now I gotta check that out. Okay, all right. I was not aware of that. So once we kind of get from this type of teleporting, like 1975, now we got Nightcrawler. And Nightcrawler would be like the epitome of teleporting dudes. Like for most of my time, it's primarily Nightcrawler. He's been the dude, like, you know, obviously we got Nightcrawler, obviously we get Azazel. Like I feel like Azazel, because Marvel got a lot of them, man. Marvel's got like several, right? Like teleporters. We got, you know, Nightcrawler. We got now he does like he doesn't just have a puff of smoke. Like he literally, Nightcrawler, Kurt is literally going to another dimension, right? Before he comes back to Earth in a different like place. That's why he has smoke and that sulfur smell, because that's what the atmosphere of the other dimension that he's going to, which is some crazy ass stuff. Like, how does your mutant ability allow you to tap into some other dimension, man? Like, I don't understand. Like, what would influence you to even develop this ability, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? But he has to, like, be able to see his destination, right? He can't go someplace unseen, because that can put him, like, inside of an object or something like that, right? So I don't know how you figured that one out, but, you know, that's what it is. He's also limited by carrying passengers is far more strain on him. So there's a limit. Like longer distances obviously get to be more difficult. Repeatedly teleportations can exhaust him, right? But in a burst, man, like in a one-on-one fight, like he's deadly with that, man. He's nice with it, right? Now, this is where it comes from, like, because then there's Azazel. And Azazel has it at an even more powerful level, right, than what Nightcrawler's is. Now, because Marvel is a place to work, and they always change the backstories on who's who. Like some backstories say that Azazel is Nightcrawler's daddy. Now a lot of them say that he isn't. So I don't know what to make of it. All I know is that he's got this teleportation ability, and it just feels infernal, man. Like, you know, he can, like, you know, this dude is like, he's bad. He looks like he's stepping through hell. Like, I don't know. So I never knew whether is he a mutant or is this dude actually a demon, man? Because Azazel, like, man, I don't know what Azazel is, but he's shown this ability, right? And it's all jacked because of the continuity. It would make me understand Nightcrawler's powers a little bit better, but obviously we don't get there, right? We don't get that. And then of course there's one of my favorites, Blink. Let me see if I can find Blink here. Blink's worth it, man. Right. Because I think, yeah. Okay. Blink is, if you watch, what was that show? It was like one of the New Mutant shows, and you had, where's she at there? You have Blink, and she was aptly played by Jamie Chung. And I'm only doing this because, you know, hey, come on, it's Jamie Chung. I don't talk about her very often. You know, she used to really be it, man. She's still kind of growing. Did I grab that image or what? No? All right, so she played this character, and this is kind of the teleporter, man. And like, she's a cool actress, and I liked her in this part. And she's been in some other things. Was she in the Titans? I don't think she was in the Titans. The hell? Oh, she was definitely in Sucker Punch. Like, you've seen her around. She's done a lot of stuff. Man with the Iron Fist. Like, she's done some very cool, like, sci-fi kind of stuff. And I may start breaking down some actors, like, who play the best roles and stuff like that, right? So she's legit in that regard. And she plays a teleporter, and she's kind of got the same, you know, kind of the same restrictions on her. You know, kind of a different kind of take, although she seems to get tired a whole lot faster, right? So she can create, now she creates portals. Yeah, and she can kind of hold open, man. So it's a little bit different, but she can transport people, objects, and attacks. Like, unlike Nightcrawler, she doesn't necessarily have to carry someone through the space. She just opens up the space, right? So she works differently. And it seems like and her seems more directly from here to over there, right? Like, so that's how she is. She reshapes battlefields from a distance because she can project these openings. So she can redirect, like, income. Like, if you're throwing something at her and she gets the portal up, man, she can redirect your attack back against you or against someone else. She can remove an enemy from the battlefield. She can rescue multiple people, right? So she's mad useful, man. She can connect separated locations, like you go here to over here to over here. Like, she's really good when she's mentally stable and all that stuff, which the character kind of struggles a little bit with. But it's, you know, it works itself out to some degree, and then it doesn't. But she turns, like, the environment into a weapon itself. Like, so when she's really on point, man, she's pretty good. I don't know if I would put her up there with Azazel. Like, I feel like Azazel is just, we've seen like deadly displays of teleportation and ass whooping out of Azazel. I think Nightcrawler's got that, but I just feel like Azazel's a more powerful version of it. But yeah, he definitely is that representation that Marvel. So Blink is another one. She's a mutant who has the same ability, right? And then you get to this next one here, which is Magic, and that's I think they're gonna do that character. I think they're gonna put this character in the film pretty soon, man. Is that? Let me see if I can find this character. This is Colossus's sister. This is Colossus's sister, and she's just a badass character, man. I've been wanting to see this character be developed for a long time, and I think they've done some animated stuff with her, but I don't know if she's been on screen. I don't know if she's been in the MCU at all. A dope ass character. So this is Colossus's little sister, and what happens to her is like she ends up in another dimension, man. Like a demon like grabs her and takes her to another. What the hell? Where's it at? Takes her to another dimension, and so now she can like access this. So she teleports to. She does it more through magic. This is a badass character right here, man. This character Magic, man, they've been talking about developing this character, bringing this character into some modern storylines for a long ass time. Nothing's happened with this. I mean, this is a mad cool character. This is something, you know, what's her name? Ileana Rasputin. They call her Magic. So she's another one, and she goes through a very like specific place. So like this character right here, she goes to limbo. So she has these like discs, and you got to go through limbo. So it's kind of similar to Nightcrawler's ability, where you're going to go through limbo to step out to different place, right? But you're literally traveling through, you know, a whole different dimension. And limbo sounds like a place I probably wouldn't want to go to if I could avoid it. Like, that's what limbo sounds like to me. So she goes about that way. So you got her, then you got, let me see if I can find this dude, because he's worth it. I hate this character too, but like I said, Marvel was all about people that could Marvel was all about characters that could you know, teleport. It was heavy stuff. I don't remember that many DC characters. I kind of looked. I didn't see an overabundance. I mean, obviously you have some stuff, and we're going to talk about boom tubes and all that stuff, right? I mean, because it's a major thing. It's not like a no, they don't have it. It's truthful. They kind of do have it a lot, right? This is another one here. If I can get this in the right folder. Yeah, this is, damn it. This is a character, man. As a character, I never liked this character. I feel like this is one of Marvel's worst storylines. This dude Cloak and Dagger, right? I don't know if you guys ever saw. And they've run this thing a lot. There's been a lot of comics, you know, based off of this. These two here, Cloak and Dagger, and there's a TV show, like a live action. They've made a couple of runs at this as a show, like Cloak and Dagger. And this dude is obviously, he's Cloak, so he's darkness, and he like wraps you up, and he goes to this like dark dimension, which is all cold and everything. So he wraps you up, you go to the dark dimension, and then you come out wherever it was he wanted you to come out of. So they've talked about it, like, and so Marvel does a lot, we can see, where you end up going into like a different dimension to get to where you're going. I don't, you know, Lockjaw seems to be the one exemption from that part, but the other ones seem like they all kind of take you through that. And Cloak and Dagger, man, it's an interesting story because it, to me, and I'll always say that, man, it's one of the most racist storylines in Marvel, man. Like Cloak and Dagger, man, I hate it. It's all drug addiction, and I don't even want to get into it. I hate this storyline so much. But he does get teleportation, so I had to talk about him because it fits that line. It's just Marvel again handling, you know, teleportation. Like we see a couple of different ways that they do it, and Marvel tends to have a lot of teleporting characters, which I dig that, man. Like I said, I definitely want teleportation as a part of the powers. Like I feel like I would want it as my power, but I don't want to give up something else. Like this would be like my third favorite power. Like if I like not even my third. Like let's say I get like I don't know, superhuman strength and speed, and then teleportation. I think that's unstoppable. But even outside of Marvel, there's been a lot of other manifestations, right? Like, so we see, like, Marvel has it in space. You have a couple other characters. Lilia Cheney, who has interstellar portal, manifold, the spot. Like, so there's tons. There's absolutely tons that get it done in that regard. So Marvel gets after it, and there's a lot post Marvel too. In other regards, we see. Let me see if I got some other. Where you at? So yeah, so other concepts of it, like obviously Doctor Strange does mystical portals, another one. You got cosmic boom tubes. That's kind of the dominant thing that you have in DC. I didn't find any other, like, you know, really strong ones. Then the whole jumpers, and then of course like the disassembly, right? So there's a couple of ways that we come at teleportation. So, but there's a couple of old ones you should check out. A couple of really good old myths. Just kind of like how we got into early sci-fi. I thought it'd be a nice little journey. Just kind of revealing how we got into expressing like teleportation ability. But I'll be back up later. I'll probably run some myths and duration while I grab some lunch. But be back to check me out.